podcast for DC Comics fans by a DC Comics fan. So this is kind of exciting this morning. For my first time ever, I am going live. Recorded plenty. Recorded, let's see, something like 43 episodes of the old Titan show. And we're up to, this is week 12 now. And not every week is at a full 5 episodes, but still 40 plus episodes of DC Comics Rush Hour. And for the first time, I am broadcasting to you live as I make my drive in to work this morning during rush hour. Therefore the name, for anyone who hasn't put pieces together, this is, as I said, DC Comics Rush Hour. I usually spend 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes a couple minutes more than that, depends on traffic, talking about either the current weeks or previous weeks, CW shows, Supergirl, Flash, Legends Tomorrow, and Arrow, or whichever comics came out that week that I'm really interested in, or possibly something about one of my favorite characters, a history, just various and sundry topics. So today, I am behind a little bit on the Earth CW shows. I've been talking about them, not in watching them. So we're going to talk about Arrow first, episode 3 from last week. This was, and for everyone who is wondering, this is a spoiler podcast. I will talk plot details. I will spoil things for you. So if you don't want to know, you probably shouldn't be listening. I'm not going to have a few moments of non-spoiler followed by spoiler. So in the next few seconds, 3, 2, 1, from this point forward, I will be talking whatever details I feel like talking about. So hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully there are some live listeners. That'd be really cool this morning. So, Arrow episode 3. This is the first one where Diggle is now the Green Arrow. I was wondering if they would do an episode where, you spend some time with him training and doing other stuff first, but nope. They jump into him in the hood in the first, 1 second, maybe 2 seconds, whatever it was of the episode. Kind of cool. Notice something which they do comment on, in the fact that, yes, while he and the team are taking down the bad guy, he never fires a single arrow. Well, that's because he's not exactly a bow guy. He's a gun guy. They're going to take care of that by the end of the episode. But in between, we still go through him and Dinah discussing what is still secret, except for between the two of them, his injury that left him with tremors. But he claims to have them under control, and you assume throughout the whole episode that, they come and go, and at the moment, they've gone, and you're wondering, when are they going to come back? Well, it's not exactly the truth. Again, I want to do this stuff kind of in order. So the main plot points are the team getting used to Diggle as the Green Arrow, him leading the team. Ollie fighting on 2 different fronts. Again, not part of the team, and he's not really fighting that. He seems to be completely at home with letting them take care of things. No, his 2 fronts are probably the easier of the 2 battles is the political battle, where one of the city council people, I can't remember, Councilwoman something, I'm blanking on her name now, but she wants to introduce a bill to outlaw vigilantes. And of course, he doesn't want to do that, period, but definitely doesn't want to put John in the hood and immediately sponsor and sign into law a bill that would put them on the run. So there's that. And the other is him and William. They've gotten over a lot of the stuff. They no longer are doing the back and forth where William's scared of him or thinks he's the bad guy or anything like that. But William is fighting a tougher battle, high school, or actually I think right now it's junior high. It's not high school, sorry, it's junior high. But he's fighting math, and he has a lot of math to study, and wow, I'm not sure where all this traffic came from. All of a sudden, a street that has no cars on it has what appears to be about 50 to 100 cars in front of me backed up. Okay, so it looks like I'll be late getting to work. But hey, that just means you get to hear more of me. Yay! Anyway, so William is fighting that, and Ollie, of course, doesn't know the right things to say. Not having been a great student himself, he can't really offer anything there. So he tries saying stuff like, "Oh, don't worry about it too much. I did much worse in school. You're gonna be fine," which is not what the kid wanted to hear. So as they go forward throughout the episode, again, you've got the multiple fronts. Everybody is very comfortable in the roles at this point. I think it's very cool where they've gotten to with all the characters. Again, everybody seems very comfortable with who they are, where they are, all that kind of stuff. And I've got a car over here who just wants to be a jerk and doesn't want to let me in. Guess what? They're going to let me in. There we go. Now I'm going to do the little wave, and she's not going to wave back. She's just going to continue being a jerk, but okay. Sorry. Looks like they decided to do some road work this morning and have taken 2 lanes down to the 1 lane. That's the reason for the backup. Except as I approach the spot where they're doing the work, guess what? They're not actually working. They're off on a side road and decided to just block the main road for no apparent reason. Oh, good for them. Alrighty, back to it. Probably the main story in this would be Diggle learning to lead the team, not freezing in the field, which he does at one point. They're fighting a bad guy. I think her name was Onyx. I think that's what they called her. Anyway, her and her team were former, I want to say it was CIA, but some form of government, military people who stole a ton of money, like $100 million, and disappeared. But 2 of their crew, or 3 of their crew, I think it was 3 of them, decided not to be a part of it. They've already killed a couple of them. They want to kill the last one, and they killed the first 2 with poison gas. So of course they're going to go out of their way to steal a huge load of poison gas just to take out this one person. A little convoluted there in their thinking. It seems like there have been a whole lot easier ways of doing that. But okay, so that's what they're doing. And on their heist to steal all the poison gas, Diggle and crew are riding along with them. Due to some flashing light bomb things, they are not very successful in stopping them, and Diggle freezes in the field and doesn't know how to tell people which way to go and who to follow and such. So now the team is unsure of him, but mainly Wild Dog. He even goes to Ollie wanting him to come back. It's okay. Diggle just needs some little one-on-one Ollie Diggle talk session. Diggle wondering, how did he do it? How do you always know what the right choice was? And Ollie's answer is the perfect answer, which is he never did. It's just was the fake it till you make it approach. That's what he's doing. So he tries to instill some confidence into Dig. Meanwhile, he's getting some information or some advice from Felicity. Ollie's getting advice from Felicity of his own about how to deal with William. Not to approach it with the whole, "Oh, don't worry about it." No, he's going to worry about it. Help him get through it. Turns out he wasn't really a good math person himself. He needs somebody who is. Luckily, he knows someone like that, Felicity, and she does a fantastic job of helping William. That all seems to go down great. Nice little family moment of Ollie watching over Felicity and William studying. Fantastic moment there. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that at one point Ollie goes to her to get this advice at her apartment, where she is setting up the new company that her and Mr. Terrific are starting up, and what she's mainly focused on is coming up with a name, or that's what she says. And on a big, I started to say whiteboard, or the big glass boards behind her, she's writing a whole lot of different stuff and writing down names, and Bit by Bit is the one that she mentions around Ollie, and he's like, "No, it sounds like an 80s sitcom," which maybe it was, for all I know. I'd have to go back and look. And I've got a big truck who wants to now run into me. Wow, for my first live episode, y'all are getting the full rush hour treatment here. Anyway, the best point of that entire episode, I think, was the fact that she had Oracle written on her board and then crossed out. That was just a really nice touch that they did there. Now, personally, I would wish they would keep it as Oracle, but that's what it is. Another nice touch they did in the episode is where they had to steal the gas was Cord Industries. Cord Industries, of course, being Ted Cord's company, the Blue Beetle. They even mentioned at one point they have to talk to the CEO, but we never actually get to see that. But a nice little tease of that. Anyway, by the end, of course, William's doing well in math, or at least feels more confident. Ollie and Felicity have decided to start up the relationship again fully. Diggle is feeling more confident in commanding the team and taking care of things. They give him a arrow shooting crossbow. So it's not crossbow bolts, but it is arrow shooting and, like repeating. So he has an arrow shooting crossbow, which he can fire more like a gun and does really well with that. The team has, is confident in him. Everything seems to be going well until the nice little final tease. The final tease, he pays off somebody in an alley for a little case with some drug in it of some type, which he shoots into his arm, which is trembling, and the tremble stops. And great. So he's taking some kind of drug to get rid of the trembling, which is not going to go well. We'll have to see where they take that. Anyway, very good episode. I think this season so far has been very, very solid for Arrow. Looking forward to more. Meanwhile, Supergirl. I honestly think this is probably the best episode of Supergirl of the season. This episode, you got a lot of mother-daughter, religious, and other stuff going on. You really didn't have a straight villain of the week. You definitely had an antagonist, but it wasn't a villain. You get a flashback in the beginning to a guy on the plane whose life has not been going all that well, even to the point that his plane's about to crash now, and it's miraculously saved. Turns out this was a couple years ago, and this is the plane that Alex was on, and he kind of gets lucky in that he's on the same plane as Supergirl's sister, and he is rescued as well. He sees Supergirl out on the wing, and in the middle of the crash, he has this, no other way to say it really, sort of come to Jesus moment, but he turns it into a come to Supergirl moment. He sees people all around him praying, and he figures the answer is in religion. But like a lot of people, he's looking for something to hold on to, something real that he can grasp. And there's Supergirl, who would come across very much as a religious figure. I kind of want to talk about this in another episode and get deeper into the religious significance on it. I thought it was fantastic. They bring in Rao, from Krypton and the whole worship there, and he has started up the Church of Rao, where they're worshiping Supergirl, or they're praying to Supergirl, and the church is all people who've been saved by Supergirl at some point. I think what they've done there is taken something that probably would happen in the real world to kind of a scary point, but a fairly realistic point. Even one more step, which is there are individuals, we see one of them, who are putting themselves in danger just to be rescued by Supergirl so that they can be fully baptized in the church. A little scary, but again, very realistic. I think that's what worked so well in this episode, is just how real this whole thing felt, and the fact that, yes, you had some bad stuff being done. You have the head of the church encouraging people to put themselves in danger. You have the one kid who started a fire to be saved by Supergirl, so he is an arsonist. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He was just trying to put himself in danger. He was probably in an abandoned building even, but still. The worst part is when they have a probe set to explode underneath a stadium full of people. They're fully expecting Supergirl to save them all, and now the entire stadium will be sort of baptized into the Church of Supergirl and Church of Rao. because she will save them all. Unfortunately, what they don't take into account is the probe has bits of kryptonite in it, so she can't even get near it. Yeah, that's not good. Of course, they're going to end up saving the day, and the religious thing is not going to go away. He's put into prison, but even that, she still cares about him. She knows he's misguided. She's even revived some of her old religious ways. She didn't realize how much she'd been missing it till he was in front of her again. So the whole thing was very well done on the religion side. Meanwhile, Rain, who I know she's not going by Rain yet, but Rain and her daughter are making friends with Alex and Kara, Lena, kind of have a girls' night out, and you know where it's going. You've seen it coming. Alex, at a concert where her daughter is singing, finally has that breaking moment where, yes, she wants kids. She has to have kids. She can't see her life without kids, and Maggie doesn't want that. What are they going to do? But they built to it in a really well-done way. The emotions felt very, very real. The actresses did an incredible job on that. Again, I honestly think this is the best episode. There's no question I don't think this is the best episode of the season, and it's probably one of the top 3, 4, 5 top 5 episodes of the entire series. I just thought the emotional impact, the reality of what they were doing, the religious side, everything just worked so well. So I highly recommend watching that. And at the very end, the spaceship has now been activated. That was underwater at the end of the first episode. The spaceship's been activated. Rain is starting to get more glimpses. She sees herself covered in Kryptonian symbol tattoos. She sees someone coming at her in a robe who looks very evil and flashing back and forth, normal to evil looking. And when we go to see the spaceship under the water and it's activating, you see there's a bunch of pods in there. Look like life support pods, and one of them, somebody wakes up, and that's all we know. So I'm assuming they're connected. I think we're all assuming they're connected. Could be that's a red herring and it's unconnected and it's going to be something else. We're going to have to wait and see. But I highly recommend following all 4 of the shows. All 4 are doing fantastic this year. I haven't found a complaint yet after the first episode. First episode had a little weakness, and yes, as I mentioned, Onyx and team on Arrow had kind of a weak reason for how they wanted to kill. But outside of that, overall, everything has been really, really good. So this is the end of my first live episode. Looks like I will have hit 18 minutes because of the traffic I ran into. It's been very cool talking to you live. Hopefully somebody was listening to me live. If not, you'll have a chance to listen later because this will be recorded. Of course, if you're hearing me say this, I guess you already know that because you would have listened to it recorded. So I'm kind of rambling for no reason. All right. So this is John Paul with the Old Titans and DC Comics Rush Hour. Long live the Legion.